Hello everybody, welcome back to another Trainton World 5 video. We're back on the Watford DC line, well, on the West Coast Main Line South DLC, which has the Watford DC line within it. And we're going to be travelling up to Watford Junction aboard the lovely 378, and I believe we're in the 5-coach version as well for this journey. But there is one thing you must do when you start one of these services. At the moment you can see we've got the pantograph up, which it for some reason auto sets you as when you spawn in. So we do need to quickly lower the pantograph and change over to DC. So we click pan down. You'll sort of hear the fans go off. Hold down DC system select, which then for some reason the light goes out, and then shoes down. Should hear the fans come back on in a second. There you go, quickly check we got the signal. We do, just check the off indicator as well, off. So let's get going. South Hampstead's next. No, I don't want to give it up. Right, let's get back in. Everything's set, doors shut. Yeah, so make sure you put the shoes down. Goodbye. Off we go. 25 miles an hour out of here. Yeah, making our way out of London. We've got a nice sort of mid-morning service as well. Well, mid-morning, early afternoon. Or late morning, really. Get the window open. And out we go, out of Euston. Did a little brake test. There were 5 coaches on this run, but it doesn't really matter as at each platform you just go to the end anyway. So it wouldn't really matter if you were a 4 or 5 on here. It's always just to the end. And this route, I'm going to check the poll in a second, but this route was actually rated by you guys. I put up a community post as sort of the best London Overground route we have in the game, as we've got 3 routes in the game. We've got the Goblin line, which is Gospel to Barking, Riverside, the North London line, Stratford to Willesden Junction, and this route, Watford DC line, which is Euston up to Watford Junction. And this one came out on top of the polls. For mostly the reason that it actually works alright, and you get more variety. Or you get the most variety, you get the trains whizzing past, which is fair enough. Let me get that poll up again actually. I want to see what finished on top and what finished second. Interestingly, I did the other poll about what's the best London Overground train to drive, and the 378 came out on top. Although if I ask that question in like 2 weeks' time, that might change. But that was from 484 people voting. Yeah, let's see. So yeah, favourite London Overground route on Train Sim World. Yeah, Watford DC line, 57%. Goblin line 25% and North London line 17%. That was from 430 of you. So pretty interesting statistics. I would imagine North London line will probably grow as you know more people get it, and probably the 378 will drop a bit as well. Cool, out we go. So it comes down to 30, then we go into the little sort of weird tunnel which takes us over to South Hampstead. So that will come down shortly. Cool. Here's the 30. And this tunnel sort of then takes us all the way to South Hampstead. It's like a weird little wiggly tunnel that sort of goes underneath all the other lines and back and quite steep upwards. And the lighting has never been quite right in it as well. It's almost like they forgot to put this tunnel in. It's like they sort of completed the rest of the route and they were like, oh yeah, we need to quickly put that tunnel in, so quickly had to bosh it together. You've got the funny lights as well, sort of loading as you go along. It's quite steep coming out of here as well. So you sort of go all the way down to go all the way back up to get level with the other lines. As we head up, and South Hampstead is basically as soon as we come out of the tunnel. So we've got South Hampstead, Kilburn High Road, Queen's Park, Kensal Green, Willesden Junction, Harlesden, Stonebridge Park, Wembley Central, North Wembley, South Kenton, Kenton, Harrow and Waldstone, Headstone Lane, Hatch End, Carpenter's Park, Bushy, Watford High Street and Watford Junction. So we've got loads of stops, absolutely loads of stops. I'll move the camera a bit so you can see the board a little bit better. There you go, it's not as visible. Anyone guess what stop we got on the departure board? Might seem like it's fairly close to this route. But I do much prefer driving the 378 on these services, just because it feels quicker. You know, when you drive the 710 at 45 miles an hour, it feels so slow, whereas in the 378 it actually seems a bit quicker. That's the way you sort of perceive it. Yeah, this is South Hampstead. Yeah, South Hampstead. You've got the funny old building there, that overhangs the line. Right, doors shut. And onwards to Kilburn High Road. A very tight timetable on here, like extremely tight timetable. I don't think there is actually really any stations on the DC lines where you can make up time. It's tight the whole way. So this is the cool thing about this route, just seeing all the Pendos, 350s, freight, all sort of whizzing past you. Uh, 45. As we come into the next stop. I know, exciting times ahead of us for Train Sim World, as we had recently the North London line. We've got Cardiff City coming soon and the Netherlands route. So lots coming out this month. Right down to the end. Not as good on the brakes there. Here we are. Hang on, there you go, back there. And then Queen's Park after this. Doors shut. Yeah, let's go. And at some point I might try and do a night run on this route, because it's quite nice to see. I think this route's got like night lighting on it. But considering most of it is sort of within London, well, I mean, of course it's in London, it's the blooming London Overground. But yeah, it'd be cool to do a night run on here at some point. On videos, we don't really do that, not often. Why can't I do the... oh, that's why my keyboard's not even plugged in. I was thinking, why can't I go into the 2cam? So 45, it comes down to 30 as we come into the platform at Queen's Park. And this is where we will start seeing Bakerloo line trains. That's coming down nicely. Should be down in time. There you go, spot on. you've got to be fairly quick on here. No mucking around, no dilly-dallying. Little tiny bit past the marker, but it will do, considering it's on the offset side. And Kensal Green after this. We'll go back up to 45. There's a 72 stock, and a 710 over the other side. Yeah, let's go. That's the cam I want. Let's get a shot of it coming out. Still a slight visual glitch there of the cables in between all the coaches. There it goes. Lovely, up to 45 again. And it won't be too much further until we get to Willesden Junction. Obviously where the North London line goes off. Okay, 45. Top speed on here. Even though it could easily be quicker. Like north of Harrow and Willesden where you don't have tube trains, it could be a lot more. Coming into Kensal Green alongside a tube train. In fact, we will actually maybe try and get a little photo. Oh, of course, that's going to be in the way. Hang on. Advanced game time, just a smidge. Yeah. Not quite going to work, I don't think. Well, we'll get that for now. At Kensal Green. On this train, you probably use a little bit of step free, as it's overground trains, that sort of quick acceleration, quick braking. Here we are at Kensal Green. I don't know what the driving practices for this train would be in real life, but they probably would use step free a fair bit. So you've got to sort of be quite quick into these stops. And at Willesden Junction up next. As we go through the tiny teeny little tunnel here. Tiny little, as opposed to those ones there, this one's tiny. Oh, this is single track, but still tiny, teeny tiny little tunnel. So we can try and get up to about 40, then we've got to drop it straight back down to 30. There you go, at 40. And put that down for the 30. As we come up to Willesden TMD, Train Maintenance Depot. Cool. There we go. If you haven't made it this far in the video, thanks all for remaining in as we come up to the where the North London line starts on TSW. So see you've got the high level platforms up there. Can't see any AI at the moment for it, so I don't think you can, but maybe that will be potentially added in future. Although saying that, I'm probably seeing overground AI up there would probably blow up the consoles and PC. But maybe they'd add that in future. Yeah, there's the high level platforms though. And we're on the low level platforms. Cool. See our little stop marker there. Nice and steady. Getting on the offset side, which is always annoying. Here we are. Watford Junction, low level. And Euston after this. Bit of horn as well. And let's go. That's tube train. It's back up to 30. It'll go up to 45 again in a second. There's a 390 and a 350. Look at that, racing each other down the main line. Pretty cool sight. It's like where they don't play this route very much. Like it's a great route, the West Coast Main Line South. Now it's had its updates and stuff. Yeah, it's a really good route. Just somewhere they don't play it that much. I don't play it as much as I probably should. But there's just so many other routes now in the game. It's like, oh, I want to play that one as well. Like we last drove the Pender, I think, ages ago. Need to do this route more. Well, the West Coast Main Line South. Coming into Willesden. Don't think we go right down the end here either. No. Not quite right down the end. Not as far down as the tube trains. And it's a funny route, this one, because you get the Bakerloo line trains on it. As well, this is the Bakerloo line as well. But then it sort of like makes me not want to play the Bakerloo line DLC. Because I mean, what is the point of driving the Bakerloo line DLC from Queen's Park up to Harrow and Willesden, where you're only going to see underground trains and none other trains apart from the occasional freight train zapping past? Like, the only point of the Bakerloo line DLC now is for the underground bit from Queen's Park to Elephant and Castle. There's a 0 point of doing a full line run on it now. I don't know who's got this route of all the layers, and you still want to do a full line run on the Bakerloo line DLC. Which would be cool if they could just add the Bakerloo line, the underground bit, to this route. If you own the Bakerloo line DLC, just sort of attaches onto here. Well, that probably would be quite difficult to do though. Get a flyby shot. As we near Stonebridge Park, so we've got about half hour to Watford Junction, so about 50 minutes these services. So yeah, they are the longest runs you can do on an overground route. This Goblin line's about 40 minutes, and then North London line's what, 45 minutes. Although there is one thing about this route, is the fact this is current gen consoles and PC only. If you own, I'm trying driving's not great. But yeah, if you're playing on PS4 or Xbox One, and you have the Goblin line, you won't see the overground trains on this route. And I think if you say own this route and the North London line, I don't think you'd see, this is for everyone, I don't think you'd see the overground services. I think the overground services are activated by the Goblin line. And let's get out of Stonebridge Park. Up next is Wembley Central. Cool. So it does come down to 40, but we can get up to 45. Then we'll just put it into, say, step 1. Down a little. Cool. And I have been enjoying driving the 378 on this route. And plus the good thing about it is you don't get the blurry textures on this route, which is surprising as it's quite a busy route. But you don't, so I suppose if you're a bit annoyed at North London line at the moment because of the blurry textures, just do Watford DC and the 378. Plus you can sit on the train all day long, just come backwards and forth, which actually is another really good thing about this route. It's end to end, so you can sit on the same train all day. Wembley Central. Oh, we're stopping there. We stopped quite a bit further back than the 72 stocks. Howdy. Here we are. And up next is North Wembley, and we're still bang on time, which is really nice. And let's go onwards to North Wembley, which is just round the corner. not far. All the stops are really close to one another. I think the biggest gap on here is probably Euston to South Hampstead, and Carpenter's Park to Hatch End. That's like another big-ish gap. But yeah, they're all close together. I want to get another photo of a 72 stock. Hopefully we'll see another one. Should do. Now the timetable's been fixed on here. As when the route first released, I think it was like an overground train every hour or so, or at some parts of the day. And then the 72 stock rarely made an appearance at Harrow and Willesden. It was, yeah, not quite right. But now it's had the big update. It's well, fine. There's another 710. You see plenty. I think it's every 15 minutes the overground service on here. And sort of within that gap is the tube services. And here we are. Still on time, which is good. And then after this is South Kenton. So we're almost at the stage where we say goodbye to the Bakerloo line. South Kensington's another island platform. Yeah, very important thing to remember though when you are driving this train on this route, and also on the DC lines on North London line, which is literally between Canonbury and Highbury and Islington, make sure to bring the pantograph down and put the shoes down. So put it into DC system select, or put it into DC mode, as otherwise you won't get very far. Oh, that's not a bad shot, let's get that actually. I rather like that one. With the 350 there sort of in the background, zapping along. Right, it's on the offset side again. Obviously in TSW you can't sort of lean forward. So take it nice and steady. There we are, this is South Kenton. Steady on time. And then Kenton after this. So we're making fine progress. Closer to Watford now than we are Euston. And that's the thing, these overground services, they're all the same. There's no sort of fast service or semi-fast service. They're all stops. There are a couple. You've got the stoppers, but then you've also got the ECS moves, which I suppose are fast. There's also on this route some test runs as well, which I may do at some point. You can bring a 378 or a 710 down from Milton Keynes, which would be quite cool to do. So I might do that at some point, just because that'll be fun. And of course, there's a blinking pole in the way again. Hang on, let's use the new fit, or the newish fit. It doesn't look as good, does it? No, not quite. Nah. That's a 390 zapping pass. That would have been good if we had got all of them at once. Hey ho. Just as like an overground driver driving this, you just see that zapping past, like, oh, I want to drive that. Go quick. 350. And what is the fastest point on the overground network? Yeah, what's the fastest part on the overground network? It must be the Brighton Main Line. Or the West London line, where I think it goes up to 60 as well. Well, they're saying you've got the Lee Valley lines, haven't you? I don't know what their speeds are. Yeah, this is Kenton. And up next is Harrow and Willesden. And then we're sort of on to overground territory. Let's go. It's weird to think though, I'll say like 5 years ago, well, not quite 5 years ago, but soon enough to be 5 years ago. What about 4.5? Yeah, 4.5 years ago, when we first got the Bakerloo line, and we were sort of driving up this bit, thinking, oh, I wonder when we can drive the West Coast main line. Will there be an overground DLC at some point, and we can do the overground services on this part of the route? And now, we fast forward 4.5 years later, or 4 years later, and now we can. And it is weird to think that Train Sim World on console this year will be, it's mad, will be 7 years old come July. 7 years on console. And on PC it's coming up to, what, 9 years? It's just like, what? TSW's still a new game, isn't it? But no, TSW is, wow, getting old. Grand scheme of things. That's quite a little sort of almost like a passenger cam. The light should be on, but they're so dim on this game. Got 72 stock in the turn back siding. Oh, brilliant. And here we are. NPC decided to go for a slight stroll on the track. And here we are. Where did that person come from? So, yeah, somehow just managed to like, walk across. Slightly dangerous, and of course, yeah, quite dangerous. I'm sure they're alright, I'm sure they just hopped up the other side. Right, let's get the door shut. And let's go up to 30. And then soon goes up to 45 again. Cool, off we go. Little whirly bit here. So someone, I think it was Ian, and also a couple other people commented on some of the other Watford DC videos. Saying why does the fourth rail continue north of Harrow and Willesden, and also in certain near Bushy you can see it as well. That's because the Bakerloo line used to run up to Watford Junction until, was it 1982 or something? Hence the reason why the fourth rail is still there. I suppose it's just been left. So that's why you can see fourth rail past Harrow and Willesden. Fourth rail is the middle track. Was it third rail gives power, and then fourth rail the power goes out of, I think. Something like that. Well, that's a good point. How many volts are on the third rail on this route? Because, well, we're the Bakerloo, well, for that part, we're the Bakerloo line, aren't we? And the London Underground is, what, 620 volts? So, yeah, what voltage is the third rail giving us on the Bakerloo line section? Sure, it'd probably 750, wouldn't it have to be? Well, that's on the overground network, the third rail is not 750 volts. That's a good question for chat. Comment below. I mean, I assume the overground would be 750 volts. But yeah, on the sort of bit where we share the tracks with the Bakerloo, would it be a bit lower? This is a Headstone Lane. And Hatch End after this. Still on time. There's a collectible. Yeah, I'm going for it. Going for it quickly. Boom, even though the boring route maps, but there you go, get back in, close the doors. So you can see the stations are slightly more orange now. And then you've got Hatch End, which is, well, not far, and then there's a bit of a gap to Carpenter's Park. Is the clock broken? Hang on. No, not that one. Where's the... Hang on. Go back in. The clock is broken. It's 11:49. But that's displaying 10:49. Yeah. Yeah, that's displaying 10:49. Well, not even 10:49, I don't know. Right, let's go back to the note. Hang on, back to that note, that one. It was working before. Cool. So you're doing so well. The Watford DC, considering that was voted the favourite route, something like the Brighton Main Line would do quite well, as in the West Croydon, Crystal Palace, overground route up to Surrey Quays that way. That would probably do quite well, because you'd be like this, sort of straddling the main line. Let's get the doors shut. Carpenter's Park next. And we're off. Quite a cool station, this one, with sort of the abandoned platforms. So this is where it should definitely be more than 45. But no, for us, 45. So we've got Carpenter's Park, Bushy, Watford High Street, and then Watford Junction. So about 10 minutes and we should be all done. All being well. Oh, the clock is... Yeah, it's 11:51, but it seems to be displaying 10:51 on the clock. Although the smaller needle is looking more like it's bang on 11 o'clock. So it's almost like that's got stuck in some way. And I don't think you can see 378s as AI on this route. I don't know how commonly they now run on the Watford DC line. Are the 378s still fairly common on here in real life? As obviously before they were literally the only train running it. So if they are still fairly common, maybe it'll be nice if maybe the AI spawn rate could be slightly higher for them. Oh. We just answered our own question. Oh, that's unbelievable, that is. Well, there's a 378 as AI. I think that's the first time we've seen one. Literally, as we're mentioning it. It's unbelievable that. So they do spawn, probably just not that often. That's unbelievable. As we're mentioning, oh, I wonder if you can actually see the 378's AI. There's one there. So I think out of 3 runs I've done on this, because I did one off video, that's the first time I've seen the 378 as AI. So cool. That answers that question. Yeah, Carpenter's Park. Yeah, good. But even more variety on this route. Oh, hang on. Oh, we went blurry there for a sec. Next up is Bishy. And then after Bishy we sort of do the little swirl and then into Watford Junction. So it'll come down to 35 at Bishy. Although if you're on the up line it's 20 it comes down to. Off we go. Always like to have the window open in this train, get a bit more motor sound in, as it's fairly sort of quiet. Oh, actually, let's have a shot actually. Didn't sound too bad there. Okay, then let's have a shot for a little bit. Although I say at a lower speed, it's nicer to have the window open. I think it is gradually uphill here. As we near Bishy Station, it comes down for the 35. Let's pop that down. Cool. And then to the end here, or near enough to the end. Yeah, it's weird because if you're on the other track, it comes down to 20, whereas for us it's 35. Even though we're on the inside, so it's a tighter corner here, or tighter curve. Here we are, Bishy. And up next is Watford High Street. It says at 35 now, all of the way until Watford Junction, where it comes down to 15. So sort of on this little bit away from the main line here. A funny little turn in. There used to be more to this as well. You used to have, well, you'd have to be coming the other way, but you had the line off to Croxley, I think it's called, which stopped at Watford Junction, Watford West, and then Croxley. I think Watford West. Yeah, Watford Stadium. Yeah, Watford West and Croxley, I think it was. So that used to go off somewhere around here. One of these ways. That went off. Oh, there you go. Probably there. Never actually noticed that for some weird reason. I thought it was a bit further around, but yeah, that's where the old Croxley branch would have gone off to Watford Stadium. Yeah, Watford Western Croxley. Nice. Hidden in plain sight. It's only a short little branch line, and we've actually driven it on here as well, on Train Sim Classic, on like a backdated route. So it's shut, what, in the 80s? Cool. Here we are, Watford High Street. And onwards to Watford Junction. Which isn't too much further. Oh, someone's like in the gap. Great. What's going on this run? So 35 in the air down to 15 coming into Watford Junction, which you'd want to be doing anyway. Don't really want to be going any faster than that. So I should have a single yellow on the next signal. So if you had a single yellow at the previous signal, that means you'd be waiting outside Watford Junction, probably for the platform to become available. And I think this signal's broken as well, because the other night I was doing a run off camera, and it had, you know, number 1, as in platform 1, but then it took me into platform 3. So I wonder what it will do this time. If it's platform 1, good. If it's not, then that's wrong. Unless for some reason that's weirdly right in some way. Well, it might actually be platform 1. Yeah, the other night I was doing a run and it said platform 1 and we came into platform 3. So that's obviously not right. So let's see, what are we going with? 1 or 2? 1 or 2? Looks like we're coming into 2. Which would mean that the theatre box, the route indicator, is broken. Hang on, are we? They do look like they're thrown across. Yeah. Yeah, so I think that route indicator is broken in some way. Cool, this is Watford Junction. That was good fun. Nice and slow up to the buffer stop. Nice and close. Not close enough to touch it though. Here we go. What is the marker for that signal? WS77. Cool, well, that is going to be it, everybody. Here comes the 350 for today's Train Sim World 5 video. Hopefully everyone's enjoyed it. Links to usual places, Discord, PayPal, merch store, as well as our affiliate link for the lovely UK departure boards. Apart from that, thanks all for coming in. Hopefully we'll see you next time. See you all. Take care. Bye, guys.